came up, cut his leg on the bed. The car came tossing it, it looked like a curve.
Spoke to him, they said I'll be dead in 20 days.
Good evening all. Welcome everybody to this full Brandon Town Council meeting on today, Monday, the 8th of January 2024. Happy New Year to all that I haven't seen before. Just some quick housekeeping stuff. The fire escape is down the stairs. Do not use the lift if the fire alarm should go off. But there are fire escapes at the front and back of the downstairs hallway. Could I ask everybody to turn their mobile phones off, please, because apparently it does interfere with the live streaming. And coming on to that, there is live streaming of this meeting, so if you're camera shy, please make sure you're out of the realm of the camera, which I think is that up there, isn't it, on the wall? Yeah. Lovely.
Can I ask a question? What you just said.
Yes.
How would Penny or myself get downstairs if there was a fire and we couldn't use the lift?
There's a...
Yes, I know that, but we haven't practiced that for quite some time.
I'm trained in the use of back chairs.
Yeah, and I used to be as a foreman once, so... We'd get you out.
We carry you.
Don't worry.
Fireman lift.
Right, on a more serious note, before we start the agenda, I don't know how many of you will know, but former councillor Bill Bishop passed away over the Christmas period. He was a very, very big figure in this town and town council, and will be very sadly missed. He was a great help to me when I was first elected into this council. And as a mark of respect, I think we would be wise to stand and give him 1 minute of silence, please. Thank you. I've just been advised that Bill's funeral will be at St Peter's 2 p.m. in the afternoon on, I take it that's January the 17th, so any folks that knew him would be right to attend, they can, could do. Thank you. Move straight on to agenda item number 1, which is apologies for absence and reasons tender. Penny and Nikki Seaver. Thank you. Declaration of interest and additions to members' register of interest. I'm sure you've all signed the book if necessary. And item number 3, the good squadron leader, Geary.
Thank you very much, Chair. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back after the Christmas and New Year break. First and foremost, I'm going to start by introducing Vicky Cremina, who's sat here beside me today. She's the new Community Relations Advisor over at RAF Lakenheath. So for any community issues, Vicky is the point of contact as well as myself, as well as myself, and that goes for community events and any complaints and issues as well. So please use Vicky. From an update from the 48th Fighter Wing, operational update. In addition to the continuing deployed operation and the routine training sorties that were conducted to retain the currency and competency of our aircrew, 48th Fighter Wing participated in exercise Atlantic Trident, conducted an exercise in Gedi in Italy, and also participated in the Dubai Air Show back in November and December last year. Away from those flying operations, the station hosted the latest US and UK Agile Combat Employment Working Group, and 48th Fighter Wing also conducted an active shooter exercise back before Christmas as well. And in addition to that, they also successfully passed a UK explosive safety inspection back in December as well. Lakenheath continues to attract a plethora of visitors. During November and December, our visitors included the UK Minister for Defence Procurement and the US Deputy Secretary of Defence. The Czech Air Force came to visit, and so did the United Services Organisation, and they're a leading US charity for serving active duty service members and their family members. And they brought along a group of celebrities, which include Penn and Teller, if you know them, so they're sort of a magic act. They came along as well, and they all engaged with and performed and put on a performance for 48th Fighter Wing personnel. From a community engagement perspective, I can't remember whether I came to the December meeting or not. If I didn't, then back in November, we supported over 25 events around Suffolk, Norfolk and Cambridgeshire for remembrance. I also went out and did a presentation on 48 Fighting Wings flying activities and my role as the RF Commander to a community group up in Norfolk. And then the USVF hosted a Thanksgiving service at Ely Cathedral on the 22nd of November, and then on the 1st of December we hosted members of the local community at the station for a tree lighting ceremony and a Yuletide festival event as well. Looking forward, over this next couple of weeks, just so you're aware, 48 Fighter Wing will be conducting some night flying activities for the next 2 weeks, this week and next week. Most of that activity will be out over the North Sea, but there will be aircraft transiting backwards and forwards. Everything should be done and dusted by 10 o'clock in the evening, but just so you're aware that that's going to be happening. And then finally, from me, it is with a very heavy heart and a tear in my eye that I let you know that I'm going to be leaving the role as the RAF Commander at Lakenheath in the spring of this year. I'm going back to Marham, taking an appointment at Marham. It's only 15 minutes down the road from my home, and that work-life balance has just meant that I've made that decision to go and take up that role, so I will be leaving. As soon as I've got the details of my replacement, of course I will let you know, and in between now and me leaving, I'll continue to support you as I have done up to now. Pending any questions, Chair, that's it for me this evening.
Well, thank you very much. I, for one, will greatly miss you when you're gone.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah.
Will you still be in the RAF?
Oh yes, I'll still be in the Air Force. I'm just taking a different role at Marham, so it's as I say, it's 15 minutes from my home, so I can actually cycle door to door quicker to Marham than I can drive from home to here. So
Does it make you a wing commander?
no, so I won't go back to being a wing commander. I will stay at the rank that I am at the moment and take up an appointment there. So yeah, so it's just a different role for me. That's all. Yeah, so I'll say it will very much be with a heavy heart that I leave.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, just a few words for the squadron leader there, because he's helped us on many issues, and he will be a hard act to follow. But we're looking forward to meeting your replacement. And do we have Vicky's email, Jackie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've got her contact details, because I think we will need them.
No problem.
Thanks very much, Chairman.
Any more questions for the squadron leader? Yes, Captain. Mr. Brunel. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Listen, thanks for everything you do. I'm glad you can fly wherever you like. I have no objection to any of that. I do come unstuck a little though sometimes when I see that you do fly anywhere you like, and yet when people put in any kind of a request to build or whatever within the vicinity of the area, it always comes back with a, well, we have to consult with the RAF, and sometimes in the past they have come back with a no, which is fair enough, I mean, regulation. But I do struggle to understand how it is that if you have an in and an out path and you don't go them, because I think we've all seen aeroplanes all over the place, and that's fine, I don't have an objection to that. But then you refuse to build something because it's under a flight path. Surely, once you're off the flight path, when they're perhaps passing over the town, that's in contravention of your own requirement, if you see what I mean.
Don't quite
Okay,
understand
so
what you're
if
saying.
I want to put,
Give me an example.
if I want to build a housing estate,
Yeah,
we have to go and say, is it okay if we build it, right?
yeah.
And your people could say, sorry, it's too close to this, it's too close to that, you can't do it. So,
Yeah, so there's different regulations. So it's not just about flying. There's other regulations as well with relating to explosive safety and other safeguarding issues that then have an impact on planning permission around an airbase. So as and when a bid or a planning application goes in, then our experts within the Defence Infrastructure Organisation, it's actually not the station that deal with this,
no,
it's an organisation called the Defence Infrastructure Organisation. They'll have a look at that and they'll apply those safeguarding rules and regulations. Sometimes they'll go back and let's take an example of a housing estate. If it's within the noise contours of the airfield, but it's in a safe, outside the inner circle, then they might say, yes, you can go ahead, but there are things that you need to do to those buildings, for instance, additional insulation, sound insulation, to make sure then that people that buy the houses aren't disturbed in an unacceptable manner by the aircraft noise. If it's a certain location and that sits inside an explosive safety zone, then absolutely no way we're going to allowed to put human beings inside that explosive safety zone, and so that building won't be allowed to be built there.
right.
So, and there's other safeguarding issues as well. For instance, environmental, and in particular birds. Birds are a big issue for us, and so birds, that does become a big issue. Stone curlews are lovely birds, but they are an absolute nightmare for us.
No, okay, listen, thank you very much for your explanation. I just see them, I don't have an objection, it's just very thrilling sometimes to see them fly all over the place, and then I know that somebody put a planning permission in there and it said, no, you can't have it.
Yeah, so
it just,
there is, and it's publicly available. You can see the noise contour zones for the airfield, for where the airfield sits, and that will tell you that's one of the safeguarding areas. And again, the explosive safety stuff is another safeguarding area, and the birds is another one. But if you want to talk to me offline, then please speak to the council, get my contact details. Very happy to have a chat with you offline.
no worries, thank you.
Thank you.
After Mr. Pennell's comment there, what is the situation regarding the planes flying left to right rather than that way at the moment? We've had a lot of occurrences lately of planes literally flying over the top, maybe say parallel to, do you know Rattlers Road?
Yeah.
So from London Road, going straight down.
So it depends on the weather conditions on the day will dictate which end of the runway they take off and which end they land in. So sometimes they will be going from the 06 to the 24, other times they go from the 24 to the 06. So depending on which way they're going, you'll see them either take off or land.
Yeah.
The predominant, well, it's probably about a 60-40 split as to which way they go. So now we did have an issue, crikey, it must have been about a year ago now, I think it was, where they were cutting the corner again and coming right over the top of the town, and because they weren't following the correct departure routes.
Sorry, that's what I'm saying. Do apologise.
But that was addressed. That's all been sorted. Saying they shouldn't be diverting away from their flight path out of the route. I always say that if you see aircraft operating in what you think is an inappropriate area, always capture the date, the time, and what's happening, and that way then we can trace it back to see whether or not they've actually done anything wrong. I've not had any incidents or any reports in the last, probably 3, 4, 5, 6 months, I would guess, of inappropriate aircraft activity coming over Brandon. So we had an issue maybe about 6 months ago, but I took that back and we addressed that departure route.
I think there was a couple, probably about September time, October, and they were coming, say, Wheating towards Bury St Edmunds, literally creating the cross. Instead of having the runway that way, they were coming across.
Oh yeah, so they can do. So they can. So on an approach, They can come back in, come across Wheaton, come across the
And
runway,
come in.
and then loop round to come in. That's an
Mm.
absolute, yeah,
Okay.
so they can either loop round north of Brandon and come in,
Mhm.
or they can come in from Wheaton essentially across the runway and leap to the loop around the far side and swing back around and come back in that way. That's
Yeah.
known approaches out onto the airfield.
Is there a map available of what is the normal? I don't want to be seen to be passing on to the Taiwanese or anything, but I just wondered if there was a.
So I don't know if there's one publicly, but as I say, I've just explained it to you in the fact that if they take off the Brandon end,
Yeah, I'll forget that tomorrow.
then they'll go out, and normally they will then come in from the Lakenheath end.
Mm.
So it's they will always go.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just
yeah.
wondered if there was a, this is the normal approach.
Well,
But
the
they
thing is,
sometimes don't.
it's as I say, it's a 60-40 split really as to which way they take off. And if they're taking off towards Lakenheath, they'll come and land in from Brandon. If they take off to Brandon,
Mm.
then they'll come in and land in at Lakenheath. And so it switches depending on which way the wind direction is.
Councillor Woodward, can I-
Chairman, I think it's worth mentioning that there's been several hundred houses built in Lakenheath, and the MOD has not objected to one house. And long may it continue. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else for the squadron leader?
Just come on
Because
to-
he's got other places to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, at Lakenheath, there was quite a public inquiry regarding the school and the new houses being built on the road leading to Lakenheath railway station on that bad corner.
Okay.
The school should have been built by September 2019,
Okay.
but there was quite, like that gentleman was sort of saying, because of the area of the aircraft flying in the area of the school and the houses being built, it had to keep going back and forth to court to be, okayed.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Lovely, thank you, Peter.
yeah.
I think you're off the hook.
Thank you. I'm really sorry we have to run at the door because we've got Lakenheath Parish Council to go to and Feltwell Parish Council this evening as well. So
Lovely to see you.
apologies for running away again. But we'll see you again next month.
Thank you very much.
Have fun. See you
Thank
again.
you. Bye. Thank you.
Can you get through that? Are you sure?
Thank you very much. Have a good meeting.
Right. Further on, item 3, we have Mike, our new community policing officer. So I would hand the floor to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Councillors. And good evening, everybody. Please go easy on me. This is the first time that I've done a meeting like this. Hopefully everyone can see me. And just checking, I am on camera. I'm just going to use my 5 minutes just to explain who I am, the job that I do, and what I can do to ideally help you, residents of Brandon. Who I am. I'm Mike Harmon. I've been in the police force for the last 5 years, coming on to 6. I'm still a baby within the force, although I have seen quite a lot in my short time. I've been on both response teams for Forest Heath and Safe and Neighbourhood teams prior to the dissolution in December last year. Last year I was the acting sergeant for the Safe and Neighbourhood team in Newmarket. I'm a tutor within the police force, and I'm also a trauma management officer for the force itself. So officers who go through traumatic experiences on their day-to-day level, I help them overcome that trauma. Prior to the police, I was a PE teacher for 12 years. Give me 75 kids playing dodgeball over a room like this any day of the week. But most importantly, I'm a local resident to Brandon, been living in Brandon for the last 8 years, alongside my wife, 2-year-old, and my little dog. So if you do see me down at Gashouse Drove walking towards the forest, please say hello. I'm not, you know who I am now. So what is my role? I'm a community police officer. They used to be known as beat officers, but they give them a much more free title. The role itself is to help the community and to be the officer that walks the streets of Brandon, engaging with the community and trying to identify issues that are affecting the local residents on a day-to-day basis. Since the changes came to force in December 2023, I've been allocated Brandon as my town, and I'm really excited. I genuinely am very excited by what I have on as a prospect. My area involves Brandon right up to Weeting, but across from Cherry Trees, Caravan Park, all the way to Liberty Archers Archery Field, just by Wangford Road. So it's quite a large patch. It includes Santon Downham as well. Also includes Centre Parks, also includes High Lodge. So massive for one person. But there's myself and another officer who currently covers Lakenheath, who will also cover Brandon when I'm not here. My role requires me to be a presence in the community. That includes foot patrols, supporting our partners, and engaging with the community itself. I am well aware of Brandon Forum. That is probably a source of intelligence for me, but I'm also aware that people like to comment on their police presence on there as well, including but not limited to the parking outside IES Breckland. So far, I've helped with easing the parking issues outside IES Breckland. I am that officer that is in those posts. I've supported schools with student interventions with those veering onto the wrong path, and supported local licensed premises with their planned New Year's Eve celebrations. Basically feeding back to officers who are going to be there that night as to what these licensed premises are planning on doing, voicing my concerns, giving them my opinions as to how they can help us help you as well. The role will develop over time, and I'll become more active with other partners. I've reached out to local neighbourhood watch schemes, traffic enforcement, and businesses who have expressed concerns with some of their issues that they are facing. I wish to engage with everybody and anybody I can within Brandon to see, again, build a picture as to what is actually going on within our town. I like to think that Brandon, for us, goes through peaks and troughs in terms of use of police. However, I know I'm not oblivious to there are other things that may be happening within this town that don't go reported. I'd like to get that information if possible. Finally, I do intend to meet with local hotels to discuss matters regarding their customers and ultimately to introduce myself as well. I'm aware of Mr. G's, for example. I'm aware of Valbury, who do house some of the customers who do come into contact with the police as well. So, what can I do? What will I do for you? It's ultimately to serve the community. You are the community. I am here to help you. That will include me being on foot and providing mobile patrols of the area. You will see me out and about, ideally in my big yellow luminous jacket so you can see me from afar. The idea for that is to build and develop intelligence about drug use, for example, and other illegal activities that are happening within Brandon. I'm not going to say that Brandon is crime-free. I'm well aware that, like I say, there are things that are going on behind closed doors. This includes long-term problem solving, such as antisocial behaviour, neighbour-neighbour disputes, school-related jobs, hate crimes, and managing long-term customers. I'm already working with IES Breckland with a number of investigations, as well as opening up to Glade and Forest Academy as to how I can help them and their students as well. That will include going in there and doing some assemblies and lessons and things like that. Hopefully engaging the young people before they get in contact with us for the wrong reasons. Also attend local meetings, be that this town council, neighbourhood watch teams, or anywhere else where I'm wanted. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. If you want me there, I can be there for you. I'm looking to put on stalls in the market, meet and greet the wider community, host drop-in centres at the station for the wider community also, and to meet local charities and assist where possible. So, in a nutshell, that is me, that is who I am, and that is what I'm offering to Brandon. It's not a limited role. There are officers who are allocated to Lakenheath, to Beck Road, to Red Lodge, etc., etc. It's a new way of policing within Suffolk Constabulary. I say that. I think we had the same routine a few years ago. However, they changed it, and now they've changed back. Me being here at these meetings will ultimately feed back to you as to what is going on in Brandon and what we've done. As a quick aside, I haven't got details. I like to keep this vague due to the sensitivity of many things. But I did a quick research over the last couple of days. In the last 28 days, we've had 62 investigations recorded, 42 of which were crimes, 20 non-crimes within that area, which I discussed from Santon Down through to Brandon, including High Lodge and Centre Parks. 47% of those 62 investigations are currently ongoing, 52% have been filed pending no further action, and one is currently awaiting allocation. Other data I can give you, we've had one stop search in the area and 38 community engagement events, that being the aforementioned parking outside IES Breckland, pulse patrols in the area, or engagement with local partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mike?
Well, just one really. I mean, you say...
Councillor Palmer first, and then Councillor Kitchen.
So, how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah.
I have business cards. I'll hand those out to whoever wants them, but they have all my contact details on. We don't have a centralised email anymore. Any emails that you have for that for Brandon, they come straight through to me, and
Good.
I'll deal with it.
That's right.
Thank you.
Or allocate out.
Councillor Kitchen.
Well, much on the same subject. It's like you say, you have Brandon Forums as a source of information for you. Is there like an easier way than the usual, say, look, before when you have to make a phone call or whatever and you go to Marcham and that?
Yeah.
Is there a simpler way of doing this thing?
So what I say to everybody who asks me how to report an investigation, yes, you can call 101 and that will get you through to a call taker. However, downside of that, it could be up to a 45-minute wait, if not longer. If you're reporting anything, I would suggest go online, use our online portal. If it's very, very low priority, not a crime as such, please email me. Like I say, I have cards that are available.
Anybody else?
That's just saying.
Peter.
You're going to look after Centre Parks, but it used to be one police officer that was really looking after Centre Parks because it's of a higher population.
Yeah.
There used to be sort of 10,000 living at Centre Parks. Don't you think that's quite a bit for you to look after, as well as Brandon, Santon Downham area?
So
You're one police officer, and you don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, do you? So
no, I don't.
it's quite a large area and a responsibility for one police officer to do all that, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I wish I had those the statistics to provide to you with regards to what has been reported from Centre Parks in the last 28 days. Yes, we do allow Centre Parks security to ultimately manage the site and feedback to us with the investigations that may be of criminal extent, which we will have to look into. Like I'd say, I do manage Centre Parks, but I manage largely the long-term issues with Centre Parks. In the past, it's been bicycles that have been stolen. Worked with them with regards to that. Largely, the sorts of investigations that I deal with Centre Parks at the moment surround cleaners finding drugs within premises, or the aftermath of fights or changing room issues. We do still have a response team who are 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, who will respond to crimes that are ongoing at the time to Centre Parks. So it's not just managed by me. I have an oversight of what happens at Centre Parks, but I'm working with them as to how I can help, how I can provide some help and support to them. So far, in my conversations with them, it has largely been just to touch base with them and take drugs away as and when they have been found, which is very, very rare. I think within that 62 investigations, one of them is a cleaner finding a small wrap of green substance, and that is it. So
Yeah, okay.
we have a lot of footfall that go through Centre Parks, but not a lot of reporting that's gone by, certainly not in the last 28 days.
Wait till the summer.
Don't mind my folks there.
Just a quick question. I just wondered whether you could look into whether they're going to reinstall volunteers on horseback.
Okay.
Because pre-COVID, I mean, obviously it is very helpful with the rural locations that we've got. There's a hell of a lot of horse riders in Brandon. I was one of them.
Yes.
And then obviously,
that's where I recognise you from.
yeah, we do. Yeah. And it went out of the window, obviously, when COVID hit us. So I just wondered whether there's something you could find out with it.
Certainly,
because every little helps,
yes,
doesn't it? And,
absolutely.
You know, you might find us beneficial in the area.
Absolutely. It's certainly something that I can look into. Certainly can look into getting the mountain bikes out as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Could I ask one little question, please?
By all means.
Is there anything you can do about some of the vehicles that drive through?
That
because if you live anywhere near the main road, it is a nightmare.
Absolutely. And that is something that I am looking into is road enforcement, traffic enforcement as well. That impression that you've made of that car is spot on. I know exactly which car you're talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes past there in the next 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's something certainly I can look out for. Problem is, I say the problem. One thing that would affect it is if I am stood at the side of the road, for example, they're less inclined to potentially do it. However, when that particular car does go by, we always ask for CCTV to look at that and see if they can get a reg plate for us, which will mean that I can take it further and look at whatever the traffic offences have been committed at that time. Yeah. However, having said that, again on IS Breckland today and doing their traffic traffic patrols, there's a number of cars that come about. It might not look like I'm engaging with the drivers at all, but I'm taking reg details. It's recorded on body worn. I am doing my job. It's like being a duck on water, calm on the outside, but actually scurrying around underneath. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
Thank you.
You said you're a beat officer, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you walk in that massive area?
Don't get me wrong, I've only got 2 legs and they're only a certain size and I don't want to wear them down too much. 3.5 miles I did the other day in a loop. From here to IS Breckland there's a mile, so 2 miles around. Do quite a lot. What I'm looking to do is use social media for Suffolk Constabulary as well to advertise what I'm doing.
Get an electric scooter. The kids all have them.
Not allowed electric scooters. If I had one, I'd have to seize it for myself, and because I wouldn't have insurance for it.
Yeah, we have to off them.
And then,
sorry.
I asked, is it possible to have something done at these traffic lights to stop cars jumping the lights? As a pedestrian, we have to stand there and wait to make sure it's clear before we can cross.
Yep.
There's been several instances where people have nearly been knocked over. Is that possible, please?
Absolutely, and like I say, I'm not oblivious to what goes on around. It sounds like what could be helpful is for me to stand out on the traffic lights and watch what's going on myself. Again, however many times I do that, I could be out there for an hour and no one does it. Turn my back and everyone's doing it thereafter. I can do that for sure. I have cadets who can also help me as well. Funny you say that actually, because there was a moped that ran the lights when I was walking home the other day. I took their details and reported them as well. A statement from me allows for that to happen. So by all means, we can go out there and have a look. Equally, if the issues are so bad, I could ask CCTV to look and to monitor that as well.
That'd be brilliant. Thank you.
By all means.
Any more? I'll bring you off the hook, Mike.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're not going to mention it
What?
about the safeguarding that we have?
Oh, is that what you were saying?
Yes.
I thought you said keep his card so that you can contact him.
Am I off the hook?
No.
Sorry,
No.
one more.
I'm the safeguarding officer on
Yes.
the council. So if I had one of your cards, that would be very handy.
By all means.
Is that all right?
To everybody and anybody, I have cards. If you would like them, please take them out
Yes,
again.
please. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where are
thank
they?
you.
Oh,
You've got.
I've got some, and you're going to leave some.
I'll leave some.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Lovely.
Well, then I'll know who you are. Then I can contact you if I have any problems.
Absolutely.
That's lovely. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. It was lovely seeing you here.
No, I'll sit for the rest of the meeting if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Yeah. Great.
Do you
Right.
want fizzy water?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
We shall move on to agenda item number 4, which is to receive, confirm and sign the minutes of the Brandon Town Council meeting of Monday the 11th of December 2023. Could I have a proposer, please? Bob, second. Councillor Watts, thank you. Any issues?
Yeah,
Peter?
on matters arising on number 5, Councillor Ridgewell raised the issue of the bridge being in poor state. It was actually the bridge fencing that's in a poor state, not the actual
Not the actual
of the bridge.
structure of the bridge. I'm sure we can correct that, thank you. Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we go to page 6 to 7, 3 lines from the bottom, Mr. Chairman, it was mentioned that West Suffolk is in the current shortfall of 11.5 million. That is completely wrong, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, what I actually said was Suffolk County Council, and I've already noted that with
Yeah.
our clerk.
So if we correct that, Chairman, I'm willing to vote for the minutes.
Right. No other issues? Good. We'll put it to the vote. Those in favour, please. Unanimous. Thank you. Right. Still on agenda item number 4, it is to receive, confirm and sign the minutes of the extraordinary general meeting of Wednesday the 20th of December 2023. Would I have a proposer, please? Paul Gorringe, Councillor Gorringe. Councillor Savage, second. Any issues with that meeting? I'll put that to the vote if I may, please. Unanimous again. Thank you very much. Item number 5 on the agenda is matters arising for information exchange only of the full council meeting of the 11th of December 2023. I have nothing. Anybody else have anything? Councillor Bridgewell.
As we have Dave Palmer here, it's regarding the money that the government's got, £36 billion, because of council part of the HS2.
It's not really a town council issue, is it?
This matters arising,
Yeah.
and Councillor Palmer was looking into to see whether we could get any money regarding bypass. And that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm looking into it.
You're looking into it?
Yes.
still?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. There's no decision at all anywhere at the moment. No.
We've got to be in quick because somebody else or certain other towns will be quick to get part of this £36 billion. And we do need a bypass.
Well, we do. Thank you. Thank you.
And as
Anything
I've
else?
said down the bottom, lots of towns, when they have a bypass, they infill with houses, in which we definitely need more
We do
extra
indeed.
houses.
Yeah, we do indeed. Thank you. Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You make a good point there, Councillor Ridgewell. If I can ask Councillor Palmer, he's informed us on several occasions that he's in communication with people at the top or he's suggested they're at a high level. I just wondered if we could have a few names. They're not confidential. It's
Well,
public, it's
well,
public. Hang on, let me finish. If we could have the names of these people at high level, would be helpful, because that's quite an important issue to bypass for our town. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Well, Councillor Carnick, from experience, recently, in the last 18 months, I don't disclose anything to you because you've got the habit of jumping in and trying to stop me doing anything good for Brandon. When I've got something important to tell this council, and especially you, I will make sure that it's well forwarded.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Personally, Chairman, if I may, I think that's a rather bizarre answer to a reasonable question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. No.
Yeah, I know I'm a nuisance. Never mind. I don't know the gentleman's name right at the back, but you
Mr.
mentioned
Dillon.
about the potholes, the money, and you informed the gentleman that Suffolk County Council hasn't got any money to repair potholes. But the government is issuing quite a bit of money to counties to repair potholes, only potholes, and Norfolk County Council is being given £4.5 million for the next few years to repair potholes in Norfolk County, just for potholes. I don't know the exact amount for Suffolk.
3.5.
How much?
3.5.
All right, I did hear it was 3.5 for Essex, so it looks like we've got 3.5 million for Suffolk. But you told that gentleman that the county hasn't got any money to do the repairing of potholes. But it's not the county's money, it's the government's money that's going to be given to the counties to repair just potholes.
Thank you for that. Would you like to come back on that, County Councillor?
I'd like to report on that during my county report, Mr. Chairman, agenda item number 8.
Okay, we'll come to it. No other matters arising. I'll move to agenda item number 6, which is urgent business. Nobody has contacted us within the given time, so there is no urgent business. So I will move us on to agenda item 7, which is to receive a written report for the town clerk, which is in your agenda packs. If you have any queries, do question the town clerk now, or otherwise we will take it as received. So,
Yeah.
Councillor McCann.
Thank you, Chairman. Quick question to the clerk. Thanks for your report, Jackie. But if we wanted some details on the D-Day commemoration, who's the lead person on that? Where would I go? I mean, would I go to you to get some details? And
You can come to me. We are planning an events committee meeting to start working properly
good.
towards it.
If you could
Designate someone there if you'd like.
If you could give me an invite, Jackie, that would be most helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? No? Well, we'll take it that the town clerk's report has been received. Agenda item number 8 is the public forum. Limited to 3 minutes duration maximum per resident. But we will start with the reports from county, district, town councillors and community group representatives. So I will hand over to Councillor Mechanic, our county councillor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, before I get on to the subject of potholes, just a few words on Suffolk County Council and their finances. They've got a massive budget deficit of several £1 million, and in an attempt to balance their budget, they've transferred £18 million from reserves. Well, that is just not sustainable on the long term. I mean, the problem has been a massive demand for social adult care. That's for the elderly and people with mobility issues. There's been a massive increase for special needs for children. The county increase can only be 5% unless they have a referendum to vote for a higher increase. Well, that's highly unlikely. So all I can say to you is expect more cuts, whether that'll be in highways, whether that'll be in special needs. I have no doubt. I don't know. I'm not on the cabinet at the county. On the question of potholes, This evening, Mrs. Meadows has informed me that the 2 potholes which she flagged up last month, which I flagged up the next day, have been done. We all are aware of the potholes in Thetford Road. They are awful. They have been marked out. I have spoken to the engineer. He said none of them have come up as an emergency. He's informed me that you need a period of 21 days. They will be done within a 21-day period. I can't do any more than that. I have got no control over the operations. I'm not a man who runs around with a wheelbarrow with the asphalt. So all I can say to you, if you turn that corner at Wellington Close, just be warned, there is some awful potholes. Chairman, that concludes my county report.
Thank you. District reports.
I'll have to miss on that, my chairman.
Sorry?
I miss on that. No.
Councillor Savage. Yeah, I have nothing really of import from district. So, any of the town councillors? Councillor Palmer.
Could you give the members of the public with Brandon the update on the town clerk's position, please?
As far as I know, he has resigned. That's it.
He's resigned. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Community group representatives.
Sorry, just one more thing. In connection with the fish and chip shop, Collins Fish and Chip Shop, apparently there's a trouble actually getting hold of the guy, yeah? Does that cover like the bit at the back with all the rubbish being put in there and the rats? Or would that be going to like a council? Would that be the owners?
Yeah, Councillor Mechanic and then Councillor Brocklehurst.
Councillor Kostevsky makes a good point at the back there. It's an absolute disgrace. I had Environmental Health out there last Monday for a couple of hours, and I've asked them to pressurise. They know who the owner is because he's still paying the council tax. And they know who he is, and I've asked them to progress it. I've had multiple complaints on that, and that is an embarrassment, and we're better than that as a town. People have been getting in there as well and putting those posters, those circus posters in there. I mean, there's a fire risk, there's a health risk. That looks awful. I've pressurised the district, and they tell me there will be some enforcement. I'm quite willing to pressurise them again because I think I despair when I see it. I hope that answers your question there.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, on that same thing, I contacted Environmental Health, and I'd suggest any of the councillors do the same, and members of the public contact Environmental Health. We talked about the rear of Collins, Chitty in that little street there. If you contact them, it can only help.
Yeah. Chairman, if I may, Paul Speakman, Environmental Health Officer, spent a couple of hours with me. If anybody wishes to email him as Paul Speakman at West Suffolk, then they're perfectly entitled to do so. But he is aware of an awful, and I've got cabinet members coming out this Friday, and they will be presented with the same eyesore.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anything else from around the table? Then I'll throw it open to the members of the public, if I may. Annette?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I wonder if it's possible if you, Phil and Victor, our West Suffolk councillors, to report back next month the results of the following questions, please. West Suffolk Council was advertising "Have Your Say" regarding the up and coming council tax. It was advertised on different platforms, and it would be interesting to see how many people participated. Did West Suffolk take into account, or when deciding our council tax, what participants selected on the survey? West Suffolk did not take into consideration those that do not have computers. If it did have on the survey regarding care, but for a lot of elderly people and disabled residents were not given the opportunity to participate. Next time, could West Suffolk please make sure that everyone is given the same opportunity? Please could our West Suffolk councillors at the next meeting give us some results on this? And I'd also like to add, not all elderly people have benefits. A lot of us pay for our care. We also pay full council tax. Because of the year increase on people retiring, they have more money. Therefore, they're not entitled to benefits. So please, don't think all us elderly people are on benefits, because we are not. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Annette, and we will definitely take that away. Could we have that in a copy of that, and then we can go through it with a fine-tooth comb and come back with a comprehensive answer, can't you? Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Cadell.
My apologies. Okay, listen, I was really pleased to see that our concerns about potholes clearly managed to get through to Suffolk County Council in some way, shape or form, because they were out there doing them today. So that's a good thing. But I'm convinced that it's purely down to the fact that we made a lot of noise here last month. And somehow that managed to get back. And you can say no, but it's a very strange coincidence, isn't it? But anyway, let's move on. I'm a bit shocked that Victor's just confessed that he can't do anything at Suffolk. He's just not on the cabinet, he's whatever. So I don't really know what we get done up there. Anyway, new time, new year, time to reflect, time to move on, time to wipe the slate clean. We can't really do that right now because we have the elephant in the room. So my question is to you, Mr. Chairman. Last meeting there was a vote of no confidence in your leadership of the council. I wonder if the chair can tell us what they've done to look back on the cause of the no confidence vote, and perhaps he can tell us what he intends to do to change his behaviours to enable a line to be drawn, and how he intends to rebuild the confidence of his councillors and the public. Now, precede that, I've written them down because I know I always do write them down. I know you don't like writing, but I do. So the questions are: do you understand that what you have done to prompt the no confidence vote? And I don't think it was just the actions of the licensing vote. What do you intend to change in your behaviours and delivery? And what are you going to do to rebuild the confidence of the councillors and the residents? And I guess once we've seen that, it goes away.
Well, first and foremost, I was elected 4 years ago, and I was elected last May by people that I represent, and I represent everybody in Brandon. The fact that about half a dozen people in the town have been gunning for me because they cannot accept the outcome of the election, then I'm sorry, there's very little else I can do. Thank you.
Well said, Chairman. Well,
So, anyone else? No, I'm not entering into argument with it.
It's not argument. It's not argument. I don't want you to leave, Phil. I don't want you to resign. No, you were elected, and you are fair and squarely in that position, and you should be, because you were elected. But when you suffer some kind of a defeat, well, I don't want to call it a defeat, but when you suffer some kind of a challenge, here you go, it's a much easier word, a challenge, I just think that there needs to be someone that says, sometimes it's bigger to say, look, you know what, I might have made a mistake on that. I'm not having a go at you,
But as an aside, don't you think that all that little group of half a dozen people, they might be the ones that are making the mistake?
Is it?
You know, and it's a two-way street, and I'm not going to discuss it any further here tonight.
So you're not changing your behaviour then?
Thank you. Councillor Lucan.
Mr. Chairman, just recently, we as a council, that includes you and the Vice Chair, we spent considerable time over the budget, which is quite a hefty piece of legislation to deal with. And I congratulate Jackie and Donna for assisting with all the figures and giving us great clarity on that. And that is a big milestone in the 12 months in the council's accounts. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll publicly state, and I want it to go on record, that I have every confidence in you, and I have every confidence in the Vice Chairman as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Buchanan. We'll draw a line under it there and move on to agenda item number 9.
Phil,
I'd rather not on this subject. Thank you. We will move on to...
excuse me, if you just stopped a councillor from speaking as chairman, you're not allowed to do that, I wouldn't think. I suggest you check the rules with your clerk.
Yeah,
You've just stopped her from speaking, because you were going to speak, weren't you?
I have moved on to a different agenda item, but if you really insist, we can backtrack.
Yeah, Phil, with respect, and I really do struggle with that sometimes with you, I think the gentleman in the corner's got a valid point. I think we're now in a new year, and it would be nice for you to probably hold up your hand and say that, yes, there have been mistakes made with your behaviour, because me, for one, have been on the receiving end of it, Phil. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I won't disclose it in public. It's gone. But when somebody's asking a reasonable question, as far as your behaviour goes, then I think you should be duty bound to answer it and say, look, okay, you know, we all make mistakes. That's why they put rubbers on the end of pencils. So, you know, let's make this a new beginning. And maybe, you know, you change a little bit in your attitude, because it's the size of Asia sometimes.
Thank you. I am not prepared to do so tonight at this meeting. There are reasons. I have my reasons. And that's it. I am putting close to this issue tonight. Thank you. Now may I move on to agenda item number 9? Thank you. Correspondence, Jackie?
None.
None. That was easy. Agenda item number 10, accounts to approve payment for December 2023. Could I have a proposal, please?
Proposed with one question, Chair. That's all.
Sorry?
Proposed and just raise one issue.
Yeah. Seconder? Gary, Councillor Brocklehurst.
Chairman, if I may.
Please.
I'm delighted to see, Jackie, I'm delighted to see that we've got credit back from BT of £3,000, which they overcharged us. And Don has done, it's the first time I've seen this, and I like this. This is where you've highlighted it in red.
Yeah.
So that's something we can pick up on. I'd like to see that sort of format when we eventually get money back from Suffolk County Council regarding the decarbonisation fund. So I'd like to see the money, the refunds, highlighted in red again, if that is possible, through the accounts.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure that's how it will be done.
Thanks very much.
No more queries on them? Gary?
That's not a query. Again, following on from Councillor Cameron's comment there, I know, speaking to the ladies in the office, the amount of hours that went into the calls to BT to get that money, where they'd taken it, should never have done so. I think Jackie actually working her days on it, wasn't it? But yes, thank you for being the dog with a bone and persevering with that one.
Here, well done, Jackie.
Thank you. Can we move it to a vote then, please? All votes in favour of the accounts? Unanimous, thank you. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 11, to receive income and expenditure statement against budget for November 2023. That's in your packs, and we can take it that we have received it. Thank you. Agenda item number 12, a resolution from myself. It's resolution number 455. Brandon Town Council resolves to approve the precept for 24-25 financial year. That's 2024-2025.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, haven't we already voted on it?
We have voted on it in the precept meeting. It has to come to full council for approval.
It had to be on here because we didn't know whether we'd agree or not on the previous, and the paperwork came out before the agreement at the meeting.
Sorry, you've lost me.
We had the precept meeting and we voted on it.
Yes.
The paperwork for this meeting was issued before the precept meeting. So the result of the precept meeting wasn't available. So this has been put on as a safeguard in case we haven't come to a decision.
Right. So you're saying that we don't need to vote on it again?
No, we've already voted on it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'd rather vote on it just to make sure. There is no harm in voting on it twice.
No, absolutely.
Can I, Councillor Brabs, can't remember, was it a resolution on the other one? We should be fine then, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
If it wasn't a resolution. I could-
But let's vote again. I'm happy, but
As I recall the meeting of the precept meeting, it was to discuss and formulate the precept. It wasn't, and we all agreed at the time, but we need to put it out in the wider public. So I think we will proceed with the vote if that's okay. Call it duplication, but it's fine. But I did have to address the public over this, and as soon as I can find it, there, that's it. On the face of it, it looks like people will look at this and that there is a 19.03% increase, and they will think, oh my goodness, that's an increase of 19% on my council tax. And I wanted to reassure you that that's not quite how it works. Basically, we need a sustainable budget for Brandon Town Council to survive and offer the services and continue to offer the services that it does. Historically, we have had any increase trimmed to the bone, which has not left us with any slack at all in the finances of the council. Furthermore, the last year's precept that's just run out, £40,000 was taken out of reserves to bolster the finances to continue to be able to offer the services we do. And in conjunction with the council here, we discussed it fully, and the work that both Donna and Jackie have done. We need an increase in the actual money that the council has to play with of £61,524. So that equates to a 19.03% increase. How does that relate to your council tax? Well, I can tell you, there are approximately, and this is on data from 2019, 4,676 homes in Brandon. Now, some will be all over the place on different bandings, but we base it basically on what is it, D? Band D, yeah. So if you divide this increase in money that we need of £61,524 between 4,676 homes, it actually equates to a rise in the council tax for those homes, assuming that they're all a band D, of £13.20 a year. 26p a week. So that's how it works out. So we were quite happy to think that people would not bulk at 26p a week to make sure that their town council's on a good, fine financial footing. Any questions? And I will take questions from the floor if you have any at this point on that, because I think it's an important point to get over. No?
Well, I've got
Councillor Ridgewell.
Right. Don't really want to with anything sort of like confidential, but I did say about the amount of money we was putting by for the street lights, and I noticed that what we put by for the coming year is less than what we'll be quoting later on tonight, and I feel that we should have put a bit more in that. I didn't want to quote no figures in case I'll get all over the coals, in case it's confidential.
Councillor Mechanic, you can answer that.
I don't think they're open in the public domain through the accounts. You're talking about the £40,000 usage. You're talking about the replacement of the lanterns.
8,000.
Right. You're talking about the replacement of the lanterns. You're concerned about the cost of that?
We've got a quote here.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a lot more than the
Yeah.
8,000. And I'm saying, as I said last week, we should have made more money available to replace the electric columns.
Yeah, if I may, Chairman, I don't think you should concern yourself with that, Pete, because we have had an assurance the decarbonisation fund, right, will pay for all the lanterns, and if there's damaged uprights, they will replace the uprights as well. That bill, whatever we spend on lanterns, will be paid for by West Suffolk Council. They've got £1 million to upgrade all the lights in the Forest Heath area. If you can see any discrepancies in that, Pete, please do come forward. Come to the chairman, come to Jackie in the office, and I think they will reassure you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I'll just add one more. I'm disappointed that we didn't increase the Brandon Remembrance playing fields. So it's on record. I wanted it to be increased by what the inflation is, which we normally do each year. But this year, or this year's preset, we have kept it the same as last year, which I think we should have increased it a little bit, because the bulk of it does pay for the wages and the fuel for looking after the plant.
Very, very fair comments, Peter. Thank you for that. So, as we're putting it to a vote,
I'll propose, Chairman.
second.
Well, it's your resolution.
It's my, oh yeah, okay, so you're not proposing, I'm proposing, you're seconding. Could we have a show of hands on that? Thank you. Abstentions? Against? Thank you. Right, where are we? Where's the agenda? We move on to agenda item number 13, which is to note the planning committee meeting. There is a report in there, in the pack. Did you want to expand on it?
Only so much as we have the resignation of Councillor Nolan, so we have a space available on the planning committee. I don't know whether for the planning committee we did say we would approach Mr. Councillor Gorringe, but I don't know, do we need to take this to a vote or anything?
It's on the agenda. It's on the agenda. Agenda 15.
Number 15.
It's on the agenda.
I'm sorry, I've read HR there, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So we can note the planning meeting, committee meetings, on the minutes of. I'll move on to agenda item number 14, which is to appoint another member to the HR committee. I understand that Councillor Nikki Siebert wished to be on it. In her absence, she's quite happy for us to.
I'll propose, Chairman.
I'll second.
Jules will second.
Or Jules can second, yeah. Can we put it to a vote? Thank you very much, that looks unanimous to me. Agenda item number 15, to appoint a member to the planning committee, and again I understand that Councillor Gorringe is interested in that position. I will propose.
I'll second, Chair.
Thank you, and could we put that to a vote please? Thank you very much. So we now have a new HR committee member and a new planning committee member. Welcome to both. Agenda item number 16, resolution to exclude the public and press pursuant to the Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act 1960, the public and press be excluded from the meeting temporarily due to the confidential nature of the business to be discussed concerning quotes, land, staff and contract. Do I have a proposer?
I've got a lot to say, but I can't say this.
Councillor Gorringe, seconder. Councillor Watts. Could we put it to the vote, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, members of the public. It's been great having you here.
I've got a lot to say, but I can't say it in front of that bloke. A lot. There's something happening next month.
Would you be able to give me a time?